Morning viewers, Rob Atfield reporting for Port Carling Boats. We're here in Powassan, Ontario, just south of North Bay, in northern Ontario, I guess, we're probably be considered at this point. And we're obviously at the Giesler Boat Works. And we're going to go in shortly and check out what's going on at the factory. It's Halloween Day today, October the 31st, 2016. Giesler's been in operation for quite a number of years, and the owner, Jerry Giesler, is going to give us a little presentation, I believe, or will share some information about the operation of this company that's been building cedar-strip boats for a number of decades. Let's go inside and find out what's going on. Speaking of Giesler, ladies and gentlemen, here's the horse's mouth, Jerry Giesler.
Well, I hope it's just that end of the horse.
Well, yes, we're at the right end. And Jerry's obviously very knowledgeable about wooden boats, particularly cedar strip boats. The Giesler company has been in operation since 1927. Not that far off for 100 years. So obviously, Giesler Boats has been doing something right to have lasted this long in an industry that struggles to survive. Anyway, Jerry has some comments to make about Giesler Boats and the work they do here. And so I'm going to turn the voice over to Jerry.
Yeah. Okay. So basically, as you said, we've been in business since 1927. We've been building boats pretty much the same way. Some of the materials and whatnot have changed, but pretty much everything we do, our style, like we still drive all our nails by hand. We don't use nail guns or anything like that. We still use a lot of hand saws and a lot of hand tools. We have a lot more modern equipment, more modern adhesives and finishes. But other than that, that's pretty much anything that's changed.
What are some of the modern adhesives or products you would use, Jerry?
Like the polyurethane sealants, like Sikaflex is one of the more popular ones. Right now we're using a Tremco product called Volcom 116. Oh. It's the reason we're using it is because we can get it in brown. Sikaflex quit making their brown. All they make is white and black. Okay. And we like the brown because it blends in a little better and matches with the wood a little better. So
and where would you use that, on the keel?
We use it pretty much wherever there's a you need to seal two pieces together with some kind of a sealant. So between the transom and the planking, we use that. We use it underneath the front keels and the stem and places like that. Yeah. Right. So that's what we do there. And like most of our boats, like you can see right here, this is the part that most people like. We still steam the wood. So you can see there's the steamer. And when the ribs are in that steamer, they become quite flexible.
You sure do. Practically tie a knot in that piece. And you were mentioning that you actually have, it's not just steam, but you put water in the bottom of your steamer as well.
Well, yeah. Well, actually what we do is there's water in the steamer. If you'll notice, the steamer sits on an angle, and there's a raised there's a raised drain at the back, so the water sits inside. So you can
hear it.
You can hear the water in there, so it's up to about here someplace. Okay. And it's pretty well right to the very back at the back. So the very ends of the ribs, you'll see, well, those ones aren't quite long enough, but you can see it's actually sitting in the water, the very ends of the ribs. And that's crucial to steaming.
Why is that crucial? Just because it allows better flexibility?
The dry steam lets the wood dry out too quick, so it cuts down on your working time when you pull it out. Okay. And it also is cooler. It's not as hot. Like the wood. You need the moisture in the wood to make it steam really well.
That makes sense.
It's like it's a moister steam. Right. That
Now, Jerry, you were telling me that in the fall, this being October the 31st, it's mainly restorative work that you're doing on boats, and you do the new builds in the spring. Yeah. And the viewers, Jerry was telling me that he builds some new boats without having custom orders. The smaller craft, you were saying?
Yeah, canoes, rowboats, those type of boats, and then the boats we build for tours camps. we build those kind of on spec as well, because they
Okay.
are all pretty much standard boats.
Yes. That was quite an interesting story you were telling me about why wooden boats are preferred up north for hunting trips and so, or fishing trips rather.
So they use them up in the fly-in camps particularly because they're easier to repair up there. They can repair them basically on the fly basically, so they don't have to fly them in and out to get repairs, or they don't have to write them off if somebody damages them. And when you're in that rental business, somebody always every year somebody smashes up a boat.
Right.
Yeah. So,
right.
Some of them even lose them. even though there are the wood boats that can be repaired, they still can't be repaired if they get damaged bad enough.
So the viewers, if you're thinking of an extended trip, there's something to consider.
Yeah.
If you have a wooden boat, cedar-strip particularly, you can take along some fiberglass repair and epoxy, and away you go.
Yep.
Viewers, we're here at the area of the shop where the cedar first comes in, and Jerry tells me it's mainly imported from the west coast of Canada.
All our cedar comes from the west coast. We buy our pine locally here, right here. As a matter of fact, we buy it from a mill just down the road in Trout Creek. The pine is used for the seats. Western cedar we buy it out in the west coast. Oak we buy from local mills as best we can, but a lot of it comes from down in the States. That's where the big supply of oak is. But we buy all our lumber rough. We get all our rough lumber in. And once we have it in here, you can see we've got some in here that's drying there right now. That's mahogany there, a little bit of cedar there left. Right now we're on repair work, so we don't have too much lumber in inventory.
Right.
But once we start sawing it up, he'll bring it over to here, and this is our main saw. And we saw it up first, and then from there we take it to whatever it needs to be. So if we want to look at the planking, we'll bring in a plank and we'll saw off the edge. We saw off the 2-inch edge. We saw off the strips, and then they'll come off the saw over here, and then they go through this machine right here, which is a 4-headed molder. And when they do, they come out like that. So that's the finished product.
Wow. I'm going to do a close-up of that, viewers,
Yeah.
so you can see that that has some sophisticated cuts on it.
Yep. Yeah, and you'll notice there's a blue mark. That's so we know which side is down, because you probably won't be able to tell by the camera, but this joint here is just a fraction longer than this joint down here.
For goodness sake.
And that's so when it goes around the corner, I can show you by putting two pieces together here. That's so that when it goes around the corner, you'll see, so when they fit together like that.
This is the lap strake aspect of these boats, of course.
Well, the shiplap part, yeah.
Yeah.
And so you'll see, when it comes around the corner, it goes tight on the inside.
Right.
So when it sits flat, there's that little bit of a gap, but when it comes around the corner,
Oh,
it goes
I see.
tight on the inside.
Okay.
And